thank God. He's a humble man.
Baba is a very loving man.
He left a legacy of prayer.
As a Christian, he said we should pray always. And that is exactly what Dele Kinrin was doing.
Very, very good man.
A man of God to the core.
My name is Lawrence Obayomi, an associate pastor in Christ Apostolic Church Worldwide and pastoring in Christ Apostolic Church CAC Okerishegun Odiolowo Kaba. Well, evangelist Stephen Dele Kinrin, popularly known as Uncle Dele, is a man of God. Despite the challenges of life, he is dedicated to anything concerning God's works. At times there are some odd works which you look at his age that may not be able to do it for the church. As far as the work of God, he would do it without any hitches, without looking at back or those, without even looking at complaining of others. Maybe it's an odd job. As far as the work of God, he would do it with all his mind. He's a man of God to the core, because it's not only those who mount the pulpit, he's an evangelist, at least by standard. It's not only those who mount the people, but the work you do for God, your lifestyle, the way your love for others, your love for God and for God's work, signify of who you are to God. He's a man of God, in short.
My name is Honorable Evangelist Stephen Dele Kinrin. I'm a businessman, though I have a cyber cafe here in Kaba, though I do so many other business. But basically, I'm the managing director of Dear Mother Nigeria Limited, the cyber cafe in Kaba. He is my uncle, Dele Kinrin.
My name is Stephen Kinrin. I am the CEO of Spotless Soul Environmental Solutions, and also the pastor and the provincial youth pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Plateau Province 3, and the pastor in charge of RCC, the Everlasting Love family. I am the eldest son of evangelist Stephen Dele Kinrin.
My name is Joseph Durotimi Kinrin. Businessman. Dr. Dele Kinrin is my father.
I'm Kinrin Oluwaseun. I'm a fashion designer. Mr. Dele Stephen Kinrin is my father-in-law. Daddy is so jovial. He's so loving to be with. When you are around him, you will not be bored, because he's always lively. He's hardworking. He's not a lazy man.
Daddy, as we call him, Baba Femi, was a loving father. Loved to pray endlessly, relentlessly, and tirelessly for everyone, and including his children and everyone who come close to him. He's one selfless person who would like to do anything to make one happy, as long as it lies within his power. The only thing he cannot give is what he does not have. He's someone who ordinarily, when it lies within his power, he would not want to provoke you as much as it lies within it.
Like I wrote my tributes to him, Daddy was a very jovial person. full of life, very, very hardworking, generous to a fault, and they actually look out for people. He's somebody that acts after people, especially his family. Any area where he finds himself, he's always willing to know how is the person around there that he knows doing.
Kinrin, I used to call him Stephen Dele while he was alive. He's a lover of men and God. He loved men. If he can, any family member that he knows is from the same family, he will always go about looking for him or her. And as soon as he gets to my house, he just start praying. Even whether I'm inside or not, he loves prayer. He will just pray for me, my children, my wife. He loves God. He loves prayer, and he loves his family.
My name is Abosede Juliet Kinrin, the wife of Femi Kinrin. I'm an environmentalist. I am the daughter to Baba Dele Kinrin, in the sense that my father-in-law is also my father. And then Baba is a very nice and loving man. I have a very good and cordial relationship with him. He's so loving that there is nothing he cannot do to you to help you. And as a daughter-in-law, he has never picked me up like a daughter-in-law. Rather, he treats me like his own child by helping me. I remember an occasion whereby he came to my place in Jos, and I have reason to do one thing or the other. But before I even know what next to do, he's already helping me to take care of things, to do the work that you will call basically women's stuff. You see him doing it for me. You see him assisting, taking the children to school for me, going to bring them from school. And in fact, when you come back from out sometimes, he will even open the door for you. He's not feeling too pompous of himself or feeling that I'm your father-in-law, you have to worship me. He is a very humble, helpful, and a loving man.
He was such a person that loved to show care, showing care to the point of using his strength to work for you. He does not want anywhere around you to look unkept or dirty, or he does not want anything around you to look unattended to. And so he can give himself to working bodily for you. I've had series of occasions to tell him when he visits in Jos that you are my dad, you are not my gate man. And so you don't need to come and be opening gates for me. If I come to the house and I sound my horn, I am not expecting you to be the one to come and open the gates for me. There are many other people who will do it. He will come around, he wouldn't mind going into the kitchen to wash the plates, unless my wife will have to caution him and say, no, you are not a houseboy, sir. You are my father. And when he loves you, the love he has for you, he extends to everyone who is close to you. And that's why he and my wife and children could cope together like 5 and 6. And I've never had any reason to settle disputes between them. Never had it happen. Never had he reported my wife, nor my wife reporting him. I mean, anytime he comes around, you just feel like he shouldn't go. He is somebody who has a very great sense of humor. He will make you laugh. You just cannot be bored around him. He does not hide his feelings. He does not act like an hypocrite. He's not someone that will not subject to something or love something, and he will pretend as if he loves it. And very funny about him is that even if he knows that you are much younger than he is, but he feels that there are certain things you know that he does not know, he does not feel shameful to ask. He will just come and ask you about things. He's someone who has such a magnetic brain that he seems to understand almost every language in this country. My dad will speak in Hausa, he will speak in Igbo, he will speak Fulani language, he will tell you he's speaking Fufude. So when he comes in contact with anyone, he easily recognizes people, and is a jolly good fellow to actually deal with. Yes, he had a couple of challenges in life why the enemy tried to hamstring him and twist destiny. But then, like many others, we say that he was an epitome of wisdom. Now, if he tells you a thing, maybe you have issues with anyone, he will settle the dispute. But just like Solomon will have, almost like Solomon will have done. So we just cannot exhaust what we've got to say about him. But above all, he is someone who is down to heart about whatsoever he wants to do. You just cannot convince him not to do what he wants to do unless he has made up his mind not to do it.
At times he comes to the church alone, clean the whole environment without demanding anything from anybody. And by age, those of us that he's senior very well, he doesn't care. He comes to you, asks you questions, what he feels should be done in the church, he will say it openly without hiding. I know him for a long time. He's not here, I know him. He's a friend to my own senior brother who is now late as well. He's a man that is dedicated to God's work. In short, at a point in time, if you feel shy, maybe this is something I can't do at my age or by the caliber, he doesn't care. He will come there and started doing it. So that is one of the challenges he gave to people. He doesn't care. If it's to carry sand, or maybe when I say odd, maybe a dirty place needs to be clean as far as it's for God, he'll come there and start cleaning it without looking at anybody saying anything against him or in favor or against.
Orúkọ mi ni Mrs. Ruth Kinrin. Mo jẹ́ ìyàwó evangelist Dele Kinrin. A pàdé gẹ́gẹ́ bí àjọ ń gbé ní àdúgbò kan lájọ ń gbé. So bí ká ti pàdé náà around 72, 73, 72. Wọ́n jẹ́ alákìkanjú èèyàn. Jẹ́ alákìkanjú èèyàn. Wọ́n jẹ́ olùfọkànsìn. Wọ́n jẹ́ ẹnìkan tó jẹ́ pé tí wọ́n bá ní wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan kan, wọ́n á rí i pé wọ́n ṣe é láti yanjú kó tó di wípé wọ́n fi sí wọ́n á kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n á rí i pé wọ́n yanjú nǹkan yẹn. Also, he's prayerful. He likes God. And wherever they are doing God's work, he loves to be part of it. There was a year, I think it was December, and we came to Kaba. At least we spent like 3 days. For those 3 days, whenever he's passing by, he comes around to look, to check on us. And whenever he comes around, we will play with my children. When he comes, he will pray. When he's leaving, he will pray. And whenever he's coming in the evening, he will also come and check on us. He's so loving.
I learned a lot from him. As a Christian, he said we should pray always. And that is exactly what Dele Kinrin was doing. He prays anywhere he gets to, whether in my shop, in my office, in the house. So I learned that prayer I know prayer is the key, and I learned that from him.
My fondest memory of him, I wouldn't even know which one I would now say is the fondest, in the sense that there are so many programs that or things that he has done that are full of fun. But I'll tell you one. I came back from work one day, and he happened to be the one that opened the gate for me. And so, as I drove in, he now told me that this thing you put at home like a TV, that your brother had broken it. Now, what was he referring to? Like this thing that I put at home like a TV. It was the screen monitor of my desktop then. And so he said my brother had broken it. I now said, which of my brothers? Because yes, I have only one biological brother left, but then I had quite a number of young guys living with me. I had more than like 4 or 5 of them living in the house. So I said, which of them now? He said, the one you use money to buy for yourself. He said, like he said in Yoruba, kini to pe sile àbúrò ẹ ti fo mo le wonu àwọn àbúrò mi. Ó ní àbúrò ẹ tó fowó rà. And I said, àbúrò wo ni mo fowó rà? He said, which one did I buy with money? He said, is it not Victor? Now, I now said, oh. I said, number one. I said, did I leave this house for you? He said, he doesn't understand. I said, if anything goes wrong in my house, if I come back, I said, it is my wife that should tell me. I said, not you. I said, because I didn't leave the house in your custody. I said, and that is number one. I said, and do you now understand this? If you have to report what happens in my house in my absence, I said, if it is my wife that have done something wrong and you come to report to me, don't you know that it could strain your relationship with her? He said, that is true. That honestly, he's supposed to wait for my wife to be the one to report whatsoever goes wrong. I said, so, now that you have known, and I said in Yoruba, he now said, Emi Mati Aje, as in me, how will I ever do that again? You see, some other parents will feel that how dare you scold them? So, I said it jokingly because we laugh, we play together. When I told you that, and he said, I would never try that again. I see, that's ended it. So he's full of, I know the way he even said, hey, me, how will I ever do that again in life? I just busted into laughter because it was so, comical the way he said it, and you will believe it, and that was the end of it. He never had any reason to now tell me that something went wrong in the house afterwards. So he's a jolly good fellow and full of fun.
I've always remember my dad for somebody who is very, very jovial. I remember, like I stay in Kwara State for a long time, for some time. So I came back one day and I said, I'm now an Ofa indigenous. He said, that is true. What is the name of our company in Ofa? So I said, I'm from Asalofa compound. And he laughed, he said, Asalofa. Well, it's you that is running away from Ofa, like that name, that for him, he is not that, Salos Nika Bantu is here full ground, completely. For me, I'm not Salo anywhere. And of course, he always is like I said earlier, that he's a jokester. He is always finding opportunity to crack joke with you, to crack you up, and make sure you laugh. So he's a very, very funny person.
Wọ́n ní àjò èlò àìpé àìnìkan bá wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọn tó bá sick wọ́n á ṣáájò ẹ̀ torí pé nǹkan tó bá mọ̀ pé wọ́n lè ṣe fún un wọ́n lè lọ sí inú ìgbẹ́ kí wọ́n lọ mọ́ wá ewé wọ́n ní lo eléyìí wọ́n ní eléyìí á ṣiṣẹ́ fún wọn á lọ sínú oko wọ́n á já ewé wọ́n á sè é bó bá ṣe pé àgbo ni wọ́n ní kó gbà ó lò ó pé kó ṣáà lè wà òkè lójú wọn ò lè báyàn kan kó kàn dùn kó mọ̀ jù wọ́n jẹ̀rora wọ́n wá kọjá lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọ́n mọ̀ wọ́n jẹ́ ẹni tó ní àánú ẹni tí ó bá wà nínú ẹ̀mí.
One thing I like most about Daddy is he's prayerful. He's so prayerful. I love the way he prays, and I wish I can also imbibe the habit, cultivate the habit of praying like him all the time. He's not lazy in that aspect at all. He loves praying. It's so convenient for him. He prays anytime and every time. He left a legacy of prayer.
So personally, I would say that he has laid down the legacy of help, that as his children, we should understand that we should help and we should love people. He's a lover of people. He loves his family, not just his family member, to the extended family and to the community as a whole. So that's another legacy he has laid down, that we should be the type that help people. And as children, if we can take up that legacy to help and to be humble and to also assist people, it will be a good one.
Baba left the legacy of prayerfulness. Somebody who is legacy of humility and that of care for everybody that is related to him by blood or otherwise.
Okay, the legacy he left behind is not to ever think yourself too highly that you cannot use your body to work for God. Don't ever feel that, no, me, with my status, I can't use my hand to do this for God. He taught us to use our hands to work for God and to use our resources to work for God.
Tí mo mọ̀ pé wọ́n fi sílẹ̀ ni pé wọ́n jẹ́ aládùúrà. Wọ́n ní ẹ̀mí àti wọn gbàdúrà. Wọ́n jẹ́ akíkanjú. Tí mo bá ní àǹfààní, tí àǹfààní bá wà pé a tún lè jọ pàdé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i, tí a mọ̀ lè sọ fún wọn náà ni pé ẹ tẹ̀síwájú nínú ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run, ẹ sì tẹ̀síwájú pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ pé nínú Ọlọ́run ju tàtẹ̀yìnwá lọ.
My message to the children is we should not say that Papa is no more with us here in Kaba. They should replace Papa because Papa has built a name. So we want us to be seeing the children every time, from time to time. And they should not leave us alone because Dele Kinrin and the Kinrin family is a family that is reckoned with everywhere in Kaba. So the children, the grandchildren should always come home. Let's do everything in one. So because if we are one, there's a long way we can go. But we should not just leave ourselves because Papa is no more here.
Ọ̀rọ̀ ìyànjú tí mo ní fún àwọn mi ni pé kí wọ́n súnmọ́ Ọlọ́run ju ti bàbá wọn lọ. Káwọn náà gbìyànjú kí wọ́n jẹ́ ẹni tó ní ìfẹ́, wọ́n sì ní àánú ara wọn. Wọ́n jẹ́ ẹni tí kó ra wọn mọ́ra gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹbí, ọmọ tara wọn nù.